Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Artificial Intelligence RAISE Summit tomorrow. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 84.1%. Health Minister Harsh Vardhan says around 40 to 50 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine expected to be ready in the country by July next year. Government says over 1,000 crore rupees paid to more than 41,000 farmers for procurement of paddy on MSP. Lok Janashakti Party decides to fight Bihar Assembly elections alone. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians beat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 34 runs in Sharjah. Another match between Kings 11 Punjab and Chennai Super Kings underway in Dubai. In a special series on the occasion of 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In a speech on 14th January 1948, Mahatma Gandhi had said, all religion makes a person good human being.
हम सबका धर्म है, अपने अपने धर्म में वो कायम रहे, अच्छे बने तो सब धर्म एक साथ चलते हैं, पीछे कोई देखेगा ही नहीं, शरीफ आदमी है ऐसा कहा जाएगा। और कोई पूछे कि आप लोग किससे डरते हैं तो कहें कि हम तो किसी से नहीं डरते हैं, एक ईश्वर पड़ा है, वहाँ पड़ा है और हमारे दिल में पड़ा है, उस ईश्वर से हम डरते हैं, दूसरे किसी से नहीं डरते हैं।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the summit RAISE 2020 Responsible AI for Social Empowerment 2020 tomorrow. The Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology and Niti Aayog are organizing the mega virtual summit on artificial intelligence AI from tomorrow to the 9th of October. RAISE 2020 will be a global meeting of minds to exchange ideas and chart a course for using AI for social transformation, inclusion and empowerment in areas like healthcare, agriculture, education and smart mobility, among other sectors. In the spirit of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Prime Minister Modi plans to leverage AI for inclusive development, representing the country's AI for All strategy. Directed by the Prime Minister's vision, India will soon stand out in the international community not just as a leader in the artificial intelligence field, but also as a model to show the world how to responsibly direct AI for social empowerment. At the RAISE 2020, delegates and experts in research, policy and innovation on artificial intelligence will join from across the globe. The summit will discuss cross-sector subjects like leveraging AI for pandemic preparedness, the impetus that innovation places on digitization, inclusive AI and partnerships for successful innovation. The summit will also feature some of the most exciting startups working in artificial intelligence-related fields. Startups chosen through the AI Solution Challenge will showcase their solutions in the AI Startup Pitch Fest scheduled on 6th October. This is part of government's continuing support to tech entrepreneurs and startups by providing exposure, recognition and guidance. The meeting of BJP Central Election Committee is underway in New Delhi to discuss the names of candidates for the upcoming Bihar Assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President JP Nadda and other senior leaders are attending the meeting at party headquarters. The BJP is expected to release its first list of candidates for Bihar Assembly elections after this meeting. Earlier, Mr. Nadda held a meeting of party leaders at his residence to discuss strategy for the polls. In Bihar, amid high political drama, politics of permutations and combinations is underway in both the NDA and Grand Alliance. Mukesh Sahani-led Vikashsheel Insan Party, VIP, which was an ally of the Grand Alliance few hours ago now, is exploring options to truck new alliance with the former Union Minister Upendra Kushwaha-led RLSP and former MP Pappu Yadav-led Jan Adhikar Party. Although LJP has announced to fight the elections alone, but its President Chirag Paswan has said that they will support the BJP and have full faith in the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The newly inducted allies in the RJD Congress-led Grand Alliance CPI and CPM today announced their candidates on all the 10 seats of their quota. More from our correspondent.
CPI, which has got 6 seats in Grand Alliance, has announced to fill 2 former MLAs. Avdesh Kumar Rai has got ticket from Bachwada and Ram Naresh Pandey will contest from Harlakhi Assembly constituency. CPM has also announced their candidate's name on 4 constituencies of Bibhutipur, Manjhi, Matihani and Pipara. Former Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi-led Hindustani Awam Morcha has also decided their candidates on different seats in Gaya, Jahanabad and Purnia. The party is waiting green signal from JDU, which will give seats from their quota. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
The Election Commission has appointed ex-IRS officer Ms. Madhu Mahajan and B.R. Balakrishnan as special expenditure observers for general election to the Legislative Assembly of Bihar. In a statement, the Commission said special expenditure observers in consultation with the Chief Electoral Officer of Bihar will be supervising and monitoring the work being done by the electoral machinery. They will ensure that stringent and effective enforcement action is undertaken based on intelligence inputs and complaints received through C-Vigil, voter helpline 1950 against all persons, entities trying to induce voters by distributing cash, liquor and freebies. Earlier, Madhu Mahajan was also appointed as Special Expenditure Observer for Tamil Nadu and Karnataka during Lok Sabha election 2019 and Maharashtra Assembly election 2019. Lok Janashakti Party (LJP) has decided to fight Bihar Assembly elections alone. The party said it will not contest the elections in alliance with Janata Dal United due to ideological differences. A decision in this regard was taken at party's parliamentary board meeting chaired by LJP President Chirag Paswan in New Delhi. In a statement, the party said it shares a strong alliance with BJP at national level and it does not have difference with the BJP. It added that after the announcement of result, LJP MLAs will form the government with BJP to support Prime Minister Narendra Modi's development initiative. National shooter Shreyasi Singh joined the BJP today. She was inducted in the party in the presence of party General Secretaries Bhupendra Yadav and Arun Singh. Shreyasi Singh is the daughter of former Union Minister Digvijay Singh. The government today said that around 1,082 crore rupees were paid to over 41,000 farmers for procurement of paddy on minimum support price. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said as on yesterday, cumulative procurement of paddy in this Kharif marketing season is over 5,73,000 tons. Paddy procurement for 2020 to 21 has commenced across the procuring states. The procurement of seed cotton, kapas during Kharif marketing season 2020 to 21 has started from 1st October. As on yesterday, the Cotton Corporation of India has procured a cumulative quantity of 147 baileys under minimum support price for a value of around 41 lakh benefiting 29 farmers.
Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Prakash Javadekar said that all the three agricultural reform bills passed by the central government will benefit the farmers. He added that the country is moving towards one nation, one market. This is a visionary step towards transformation of agriculture and raising farmers' income. The minister was talking to the media at the Goa Secretariat in Panaji today.
एक देश एक बाजार तैयार करने की ये रणनीति है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की जो बड़ी देश के लिए सोच है, जीएसटी के रूप में एक देश एक टैक्स हो गया। इन कृषि सुधार के कानूनों से एक देश एक बाजार हो जाएगा और एक देश एक राशन कार्ड की भी घोषणा की है।
The minister said for all the industrial produce, the selling price is fixed by the producer, but only in the case of agricultural produce, the selling price is fixed by the agents. Now, after the passage of this act, producer, that is the farmer, will have the priority to decide the selling price. He said the move will have a great impact in fetching the best price for the produce, which will directly go into the hands of the farmers. Mr. Javadekar said farmers now have the freedom to sell at the highest price available or offered. He said the minimum support price will not go. On the contrary, the government has paid much higher MSP to the farmers.
पहला भ्रम यह है कि एपीएमसी बंद हो जाएगी। एपीएमसी चल रही है। दूसरा कहा था सरकारी खरीद बंद हो जाएगी। पिछले 10 दिन से पंजाब, हरियाणा और बाकी जगह जहां खरीद होती थी, वहां पैडी की खरीद शुरू हो गई। फिर कहा एमएसपी खत्म होगी, उल्टा एमएसपी बढ़ गई। तो एमएसपी भी रही, एपीएमसी भी रहा, खरीद भी जारी रही।
The minister urged farmers not to fall prey to the politics over the newly enacted agricultural laws, saying that the Congress party has always deprived farmers of their rights. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh today hit back at the opposition parties and accused them of misleading the innocent farmers on new farm laws. During a virtual interaction with farmers and village representatives of Majalta area in district Udhampur in Jammu and Kashmir, Dr. Singh said, contrary to the false propaganda being spread as per the new legislation, the farmer can terminate the contract at any time and can withdraw from the contract agreement at any point without any penalty. He categorically stated that the contract agreement will guarantee the farmer to get the fixed price. Dr. Singh said, moreover, the new legislation clearly prohibits sale, lease or mortgage of farmers' land. The minister said, therefore, there is no substance in the allegation by Congress leaders that big companies will exploit farmers in the name of contract. Dr. Singh said, particularly for the farmers living in far-flung and hilly areas, the new legislative arrangement will prove to be a boon. He said earlier, many of the farmers harvested their crops and then reconciled to their fate of a middleman coming and picking up the entire crop and giving them a petty cost depending on his will and choice. Dr. Jitendra Singh said, if there is any government which has done the maximum for the farmers in the minimum time span of 6 years, it is the government headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He recalled that over the last 6 years, numerous innovative reforms brought in by the Modi government, which included Soil Health Card, PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, Kisan Card, micro irrigation, creation of e-mandis and FPOs. Union Minister Rao Sahab Danve has said that the central government has started implementing the recommendations of the Swaminathan Commission and is working towards doubling the income of farmers by 2022. The minister, while addressing a press conference in Osmanabad in Maharashtra today, assured the farmers that the recent laws will not affect the minimum guaranteed price or market committee for agricultural commodities, but will provide alternative selling options to the farmers for their agricultural products. Mr. Danve further said that the central government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has started various schemes including Kisan Credit Card, Prime Minister Crop Insurance Scheme, Prime Minister Irrigation Scheme, among others. Criticizing the opposition for misleading public about these new laws, he reiterated that the new Agriculture Act will not close the guarantees for farmers' commodities or close down the Agricultural Produce Market Committee. Stating that the opposition groups are spreading propaganda, the minister has urged people not to fall prey to it. Finance Ministry has said that important structural reforms undertaken by the government to combat risks associated with the coronavirus pandemic will strengthen the fundamentals of the economy towards a strong and sustainable long-term growth. The monthly economic report prepared by the Economic Affairs Department said the enabling policy environment and initiatives taken by all the stakeholders to seize the available opportunities will actualize the growth potential of the Indian economy. It said government has strategically undertaken various important structural reforms encompassing various sectors to combat these risks. According to the report, major structural reforms launched by the government in agriculture markets, labor laws and definition of MSMEs provide unparalleled opportunity for the resilient MSME sector to grow. This will also contribute to job creation in the primary and secondary sectors. The implementation of Atmanirbhar Bharat package and unlocking of the economy have ensured that economic recovery in India has gained momentum. Railway Minister Piyush Goyal today virtually inaugurated the Phool Bagan station of Kolkata's East-West Metro Corridor and flagged off the first train from there to the Salt Lake Sector 5. Mr. Goyal also said that the entire stretch of the corridor connecting Sector 5 and Howrah Maidan is likely to be completed by December 2021. The minister said by the end of next year, the entire East-West Corridor project of 16.55 kilometers is expected to be completed. While inaugurating the extension of the line till Phool Bagan station through the virtual mode, Mr. Goyal said the project, which has suffered delays owing to several issues, has been fast-tracked since 2015 because of the personal intervention and monitoring by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Artificial Intelligence RAISE Summit tomorrow. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 84.1%. Health Minister Harshvardhan says around 40 to 50 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine expected to be ready in the country by July next year. The government says over 1,000 crore rupees paid to more than 41,000 farmers to procurement of paddy on MSP. Lok Janshakti Party decides to fight Bihar Assembly elections alone. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians beat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 34 runs in Sharjah. Another match between Kings 11 Punjab and Chennai Super Kings underway in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. The country has achieved a new landmark in terms of total COVID-19 recoveries. With over 55 lakh recoveries so far, India continues to occupy top global position as the country with the maximum number of recoveries. Registering recovery of over 82,000 patients in the last 24 hours, the national cumulative recovery rate has further improved to 84.1%. The Health Ministry has said that the gap between recovered cases and active cases is progressively growing wide. The constant increase in recoveries have ensured that the actual caseload of the country has reduced and currently comprises only 14.3% of the total positive cases. India achieved a milestone by keeping the active cases below the 10 lakh mark in a sustained manner for over 10 days in a row. The number of recovered patients has also overtaken the active cases by nearly 6 times. Unprecedented surge in COVID recoveries with more than 100% increase in patients recovered and discharged in the last 1 month has also been reported. Early identification through aggressive and wide-scale testing, prompt and effective treatment in hospitals and supervised home as well as facility isolations have actively led to a high recovery rate in the country. Currently, India's case fatality rate has remarkably reduced and stands at 1.5%. The country has progressively maintained a low case fatality rate and stands at almost half of the current global average. In the last 24 hours, 75,829 new cases have been reported, taking the total number of positive cases reported in the country so far to 65,49,374. Nearly 11,50,000 COVID samples were tested in the country in the last 24 hours. With cumulative testing figure of around 7 crore 90 lakhs, India continues to be one of the countries across the world conducting highest number of daily tests. Starting from just one testing lab at National Institute of Virology, Pune in January this year, the country today has 1,873 labs for testing COVID samples, which includes 1,101 government and 772 private labs. Average daily testing has witnessed an increase by nearly 4 times in a span of 2 months. It stands at around 12 lakh tests in the recent weeks. Tests done per million of the population also has risen many-fold in a span of 2 months and currently stands at nearly 50,000 per million of the population. With the expansion of testing infrastructure, the daily testing by states and union territories has also increased. 23 states and UTs have recorded higher tests per million than the national average. Despite increase in testing, the positivity rate remains low and hovers around 8.4%. Bihar, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Manipur, Jharkhand and Telangana are among the states recording a positive rate even lower than 5%.
Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan has said that around 40 to 50 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine is expected to be ready in the country for immunization against COVID-19 by July next year. He said approximately 20 to 25 crore people comprising the high priority group, which is likely to include elderly, children, people with comorbidities, professionals with higher exposure risk, among others, would be covered under the first phase of the immunization program. In his weekly address, Sunday Samvad, Dr. Harshvardhan shared the country's way forward in tackling the coronavirus pandemic. He informed that the states and union territories have been given time up to the end of this month to submit lists of priority population groups for receiving COVID-19 vaccine.
Government is working round the clock to ensure that there is a fair and equitable distribution of vaccines once they are ready. Our government's utmost priority is how to ensure vaccines for each and everybody in the country. There is a high-level expert body going into all aspects of the vaccine. Lists of citizen groups which will require vaccine administration on top priority are being drawn up by the Health Ministry in association with the state governments.
Replying to a question during the 4th edition of his special discussion series over COVID-19 related issues, Health Minister said that the government has formed high-level committees under the Health Ministry to understand the timeline of availability of the vaccines currently in Phase 3 trials in the country. He informed that the government is also in discussion with the vaccine manufacturing companies to work out on the swift supply mechanism and vaccine storage facilities. Referring COVID-19 as a global challenge, Dr. Harshvardhan called for concerted efforts to find global solution to end the pandemic. He urged everyone to strictly adhere to the precautions and guidelines as advised by the Health Ministry from time to time. In Kerala, COVID cases are on a surge as 8,553 new active cases of COVID-19 were confirmed today. 23 recent deaths in the state were also confirmed due to COVID, taking the death toll in the state to 836. Meanwhile, 4,851 recoveries were also reported today. The total active COVID cases in Kerala rose to 84,497. In Manipur, 3 persons, including 2 females from different districts of the state, have died due to COVID-19 infection in the past 24 hours. COVID death toll in the state has reached 74. Meanwhile, 206 people, including 6 personnel of the Central Armed Police Force, have tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. With this, the total number of affected people in the state has reached 11,855. On the other hand, 124 people were discharged in the past 24 hours in the state, and the recovery rate is 77.64%. So far, Manipur has recorded total recovered and discharged cases of 92,051, while the number of active cases in the state is 2,576. A total of 2,683 fresh cases of COVID-19 were recorded in Delhi during the last 24 hours, taking the total number of affected people in the city to over 2,90,000. Delhi government has said that over 2,60,000 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far.
All schools in Delhi will remain closed till 31st October due to the coronavirus pandemic. Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia informed the media about the decision this afternoon. The Delhi government had earlier ordered schools in the national capital to remain closed till 5th of October. Online classes, which have become the norm in recent weeks and months with the need for social distancing, have been allowed to continue. The Maharashtra government's initiative against COVID-19, My Family, My Responsibility, is receiving good response from all sections of the society. The campaign launched for COVID-19 entails door-to-door survey for tracing and treating patients, identifying people with comorbidities, raising awareness and educating the citizens on safety measures to break the transmission of the virus. Along with Mumbai, other major cities are also implementing the campaign in their regions. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Maharashtra Health Department and civic bodies across the state are trying to reach out to each and every household as part of My Family, My Responsibility initiative. Filmmakers and artists too have come forward and appreciated the efforts not only of Mumbai civic body but of other municipalities as well. The dignitaries are appealing people to cooperate with the authorities in the fight against coronavirus. Meanwhile, the hotels, restaurants and eateries across the state have prepared themselves to welcome their patrons from tomorrow onwards after a hiatus of more than 6 months. As per the SOP issued by the state government, all precautionary measures will have to be followed by the hotels and only 50% occupancy will be allowed. All customers will be screened at the entry point and only asymptomatic customers shall be allowed. Face mask is mandatory and is allowed to be removed only while eating. Kunal Shinde, AIR News, Mumbai.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has expressed satisfaction over the decreasing number of active cases of COVID-19 in the state. He has instructed to continue with better system of prevention and treatment to break the chain of corona infection. He said that efforts should be made to increase the recovery rate of COVID-19 in the state. The Chief Minister was reviewing the unlock arrangement at a high-level meeting in Lucknow today. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that special attention should be paid on districts with more cases of COVID-19 and action should be taken by making containment zones. He instructed to first identify corona clusters by performing geographical mapping in districts with more than 100 cases per day. In the second phase, this system should be implemented in districts with more than 50 cases. The number of COVID patients is continuously declining and presently there are total 46,385 active cases in the state. Additional Chief Secretary Health Amit Mohan Prasad said 3,62,052 people got recovered from COVID-19 so far. COVID recovery rate has reached 87.3%. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its bilingual live phone-in program this evening will bring you a special discussion on COVID-19. Dr. Anupam Prakash, Professor of Medicine, Lady Hardinge Medical College, will participate in the discussion. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask the questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Taking governance to people's doorsteps, Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Manoj Sinha, today visited Panchayat Halka, Astal, Kulgam during the ongoing Back to Village 3 program. On the occasion, the Lieutenant Governor handed over a paddy thresher for use by the locals of the village. He also distributed Kisan credit cards, sports kits and handed over financial assistance to construction workers, various certificates and sanction letters to beneficiaries under different departmental schemes. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the Mahila and Bal Sabhas were held today under the ongoing Back to Village 3 program in various panchayats of 5 blocks of Jammu and Kashmir. AIR Jammu correspondent reports that the main aim of Mahila Sabhas was to listen to the problems and grievances of the women and provide them a platform to raise their issues and demands.
The Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Narwane and Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla are on a two-day visit to Myanmar. During the visit, the delegation will call on the State Councillor of Myanmar Aung San Suu Kyi and Commander-in-Chief of the Myanmar Armed Forces Senior General Min Aung Hlaing. The visit will provide an opportunity to take stock of the existing bilateral ties and strengthen cooperation in areas of mutual interest. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo will limit his East Asia visit to Japan only, which was earlier planned from 4 to 8 October and also included South Korea and Mongolia. As per the State Department, Pompeo would leave for Japan today but would not go to Mongolia and South Korea as originally planned. Odisha continues to experience rainfall of varying degrees under the influence of the low pressure area over the northwest Bay of Bengal and adjoining Odisha coast. The Meteorological Center in Bhubaneswar has issued yellow alerts indicating heavy rainfall in at least 16 districts of the state during the next 12 hours.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have a mainly clear sky. It will have a minimum temperature of 18 degrees and maximum of around 35 degrees. In Mumbai city, the temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be 33 degrees Celsius. Chennai will have a partly cloudy sky. The temperature will hover between 27 and 34 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will witness a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. The minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 26 degrees and maximum will be 33 degrees. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 18 degrees Celsius and maximum 35 degrees. The city will have a mainly clear sky. Srinagar and Ladakh will also have a mainly clear sky, while the temperature in Srinagar will hover between 6 and 27 degrees Celsius. In Ladakh, the minimum temperature will be around -1 degree Celsius and the maximum will be around 23. Gilgit will experience a mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards afternoon or evening. The temperature will hover between 8 and 30 degrees Celsius. In Muzaffarabad, there will be a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature will be 12 degrees and the maximum will be around 29 degrees Celsius.
In IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians defeated Sunrisers Hyderabad by 34 runs in Sharjah this evening. Opting to bat, Mumbai made 208 for 5 in the stipulated 20 overs. Skipper Rohit Sharma got out early. Quinton de Kock with 67 runs off 39 balls, Ishan Kishan with 31 of 23 balls, Hardik Pandya with 28 of 19 balls and Suryakumar Yadav with 27 of 18 balls made valuable contribution for Mumbai. In another fixture underway in Dubai, Kings 11 Punjab were 152 for 3 in 17.1 overs when reports last came in. And in tennis, Rafael Nadal defeated American qualifier Sebastian Corda 6-1, 6-1, 6-2 to enter the French Open men's singles quarter-finals today and close in on a record-extending 13th title at the Roland Garros. Nadal will next face the 19-year-old Jannik Sinner, who defeated US Open runner-up Alexander Zverev. And now, before we close, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Artificial Intelligence RAISE Summit tomorrow. COVID-19 recovery rate improves to 84.1%. Health Minister Harshvardhan Shringla says Around 40 to 50 crore doses of COVID-19 vaccine expected to be ready in the country by July next year. Government says over 1,000 crore rupees paid to more than 41,000 farmers for procurement of paddy on MSP. Lok Janashakti Party decides to fight Bihar Assembly elections alone. And in IPL cricket, Mumbai Indians beat Sunrisers Hyderabad by 34 runs in Sharjah. Another match between Kings 11 Punjab and Chennai Super Kings underway in Dubai. And that is all in the evening news. Good night.